Hello everyone. You are listening to this audiobook on channel Voice for Purpose by NSS-IITB Bombay.
A Long Walk to Freedom, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom is an extract from the autobiography of Nelson Mandela that describes the struggle for freedom of black people in South Africa. On 10th May 1994, Nelson Mandela took the oath as South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. His party had won 252 out of the 400 seats in the first democratic elections in the history of South Africa. Many dignitaries and political figures from several countries had attended the inauguration ceremony that took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheatre in Pretoria. In his speech, Mandela addressed all dignitaries respectfully and assured his fellow countrymen that his country would never experience similar suppression by one group over another. While taking his vow as the first black president, he established democracy in the country and said there would be no discrimination of people irrespective of caste, color, creed, or race. He assured that the government would always treat all the people of the country with due respect and equality. The lovely day of inauguration was symbolic for Mandela as the South African people sang 2 national anthems. The Vision of White sang Snoskia Sikilel, I Africa, and the Black sang Die Stem, the old anthem of Republic. All these events reminded Mandela how the black-skinned people were exploited by the white people earlier. He deeply felt the pain of his race and said that this type of suppression and racial domination of white-skinned people against the dark-skinned people on their own land gave rise to one of the harshest and most inhuman societies the world had ever seen or known. He strongly believed that no person is born to hate the other person on the basis of skin color, background, or religion. Although people must learn to hate initially, because if they learn to hate, they can be taught to love as well, as love comes more naturally to humans than hate. He also mentioned how a person becomes brave, not because he doesn't feel afraid, but because he knows how to conquer his fears. Furthermore, Mandela stated that every man in life has 2 major obligations. The first one being towards his family, that is parents, wife and children, and the second obligation towards his motherland, countrymen and his community. Everyone is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own interest and inclinations. However, it was difficult to fulfill both these obligations as a black man in a country like South Africa before the democratic wave took over the nation by storm. When Mandela became an adult, he realized that freedom was merely an illusion and temporary in nature. For the black-skinned people of his country, he felt that they were treated as slaves of exploitation, and all the people of his race were treated unfairly by the white-skinned people. According to Mandela, freedom was indivisible for all, but the people of his color and race were bound in chains of oppression and tyranny. He knew that the oppressor must be liberated just like the oppressed, because a person who snatches another's freedom is also a prisoner of similar oppression. Thus, the oppressor is not free too and feels shackled in the chains of oppression himself. Conclusion of the chapter Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. In this chapter, Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, we learnt that brave men are not those who never feel afraid, but the ones who know how to conquer fear. Mandela strongly felt that every individual has certain duties and responsibilities towards his own country and community. Thank you.
So hope you guys had fun. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting audiobooks.